Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Gold attracts young investors online. Let's explore. I saw this article here from the BBC news section, and it really opens up a world of possibilities. We know this is a subject that we've actually talked about before, and the article itself may come across as an advertisement for the Royal Mint, but I think the concept is something that could be universal. There's a lot of different aspects of this that we've got to take into account as well. But make no mistake, we are living in a digital age, and this is where we are going, whether or not people take possession of the physical or not. Even those of us who do take possession of the physical, if we have to wire money across a hemisphere or two, well, more than likely, we're waiting. We've put a digital transaction in place to get that metal. And until it's in our hands, well, we don't own it. That's what the old adage is here. But nonetheless, for the youth of today, we're used to trading online, whether it be for video game gold coins or what have you, for a game that you play, or for credits, or for coupons, or what have you. There's a lot of stuff that's done online. So why shouldn't buying gold and silver, and even in tidbits in different ways, be done through some of these agencies, in fact, mints themselves? So let's see what this article has to say, and we will discuss this, because I think it's something worth keeping in mind and taking into account with regards to where the future is for precious metals. Gold has blistered for young investors, with the Royal Mint recording a 5-fold rise in young adults taking a stake in the precious metal. Think about that for a moment. A 5-fold rise that we've seen here for young folks taking interest and really putting their money into precious metals. The Mint, which is wholly owned by the Treasury, said young investors were attracted to its new digital platform for gold investment. The investments are backed by gold stored in the Royal Mint's vaults. It reported pre-tax profits of £12.4 million in the last financial year, up from £200,000 loss the previous year. A host of companies are now offering gold investments for digitally savvy young investors. In fact, we know that there's things like Dylan Gage is doing it. APMEX has it. And other mints. The Perth Mint as well has it. The interest from do-it-yourself young investors putting their money into investments ranging from cryptocurrencies to environmental assets, and by the way, let's not forget non-fungible tokens, NFTs, where you can literally buy a fart or a tweet that has no intrinsic value whatsoever, save for maybe that smell. Ooh, that smell! Can you smell that smell? Well, gold has no odor, and maybe that's a good thing. And that is one of the things that's attractive about gold, is it doesn't react to anything. And so if you buy it digitally and you have it stored someplace that you trust, well, how much more faith can you have than a mint, a Royal Mint, and their own vaults? There's something to be said for that. That's probably the best place you'd want it, an actual mint that is guarded. But I digress. The interest, so they have this interest from do-it-yourself young investors putting their money into these things, is prompted the city watchdog to carry out research on the risk they were taking. The Financial Conduct Authority found these self-directed investors who trade themselves rather than seeking financial advice were willing to have a go at investing, particularly in high-risk products, for the challenge, competition, and novelty. We've seen that a lot with, especially the Wall Street bets, with AMC and GameStop, and just other day trading, penny stocks, especially with the ease of using apps like Robinhood. Gold is generally considered as a safe investment and has been popular among investors globally at times of uncertainty, such as the pandemic and low interest rates for cash. The Mint said its new digital savings platforms attracted fresh customers to precious metal investment, which it had offered through other channels for years. It said investment in limited edition coins produced alongside coins for general circulation also proved popular in the last year. So the physical has also increased as well as the digital version of these. But keep in mind, this is not an ETF. These aren't futures. These are supposed to be backed by every dollar spent, or every pound spent in this case, with physical metal to back it up. It's an investment in limited edition coins and these products that have done so well. Ann Jessup, the Mint's chief executive, said, "As spending habits change, we set out to reinvent the Royal Mint and secure a long-term future as a British maker. By purposefully expanding into areas which complement our heritage, we have been able to attract thousands of customers to precious metals, so showcase British craftsmanship and achieve record revenues. We might be 1,100 years old, but we are firmly focused on the future." Alongside its more traditional operations, the Mint also produced nearly 2 million visors for the NHS in the last year in response to the COVID crisis. You may remember I posted a video about that very story last year. So it is interesting, and here are some of the questions, I guess, that they had asked about the FCA. This is the campaign to prevent investment harm using online advertising, advising people to ask, am I comfortable with the level of risk? And believe it or not, that is something that I talk about greatly on this channel, even with regards to precious metals, because there is still risk involved, even though I don't view precious metals as an investment. You have to be willing to take that risk of losing out, whether it be with a lower spot price or not being able to recoup the premiums that you paid for physical precious metals. Do I fully understand the investment being offered to me? And I always tell people to only buy that which you understand. And that is where it stops, or where you should go. If you have an understanding, a fundamental understanding of that which you are putting your money in, and then that's going to serve you well, and it's going to drive, and you'll be able to make smarter decisions. And am I protected if things go wrong? And that's the beautiful thing about precious metals. There is protection there. That's why many people refer to it as an insurance policy, as a hedge against economic instability. Even when things go right in the economy, well, gold and silver will never go to zero. And if they do go down enough, more than likely, if the economy is doing well, by extension, you will probably be doing well as well, although that's not always the case. But make no mistake, you will never see it go to zero, and there will always be an intrinsic value tied with it. And more than likely, it will keep up with inflation during the good times as well as the bad. Are my investments regulated? Well, and that's something that you have to take into account too, because silver and gold in and of themselves are not regulated. But if you're buying from a mint that is, it's the government's entity, more than likely it is regulated for sure, such as, the Perth Mint's offering as well. And obviously other businesses have practices that are regulated by the government. So it's a trusted firm like APMEX, or maybe Provident Metals, or any of these other large bullion dealers that have offerings like this. I think you're probably safe putting your money in those organizations. The last question is, should I get financial advice? Probably, but most of us here on YouTube and on other online platforms, we say we're not financial advisors. It should go without saying. We're just people giving out, we're giving out, in a sense, financial advice anyway. So take it for a grain of salt. Anything I say or anybody else says. In fact, I would even make the argument that trained financial advisors get things wrong as well. In the end, I believe in a conservative investment strategy with regards to stocks and bonds, and that's why I mainly don't mess with it. I basically do it through my work. And any money that you put into the markets outside, you have to be willing to lose, potentially it all or most of it. But nonetheless, it is probably good to seek financial advice overall. But I think if you're getting in the world of precious metals, the fundamentals are what you should research from a variety of different sources. Now, getting back to buying gold online from these young investors, I think it's the benefit to this is that you can buy in much smaller quantities than a gram. That's right. A gram of gold is considered probably the smallest unit that is commonplace out there. There are smaller sizes that you can buy of gold, but the most common size, the most common small size for gold is a gram. And you will pay very, very heavy premiums for those, by the way. Not advisable, by the way. However, you can spend very small amounts in some of these organizations, such as, I think it's One Gold by APMEX, and there's others where you can buy literally as small as $1 or less, and put that money in towards an account that you can use when you have accumulated enough to buy a product. You can cash that out for a physical product. And there are some benefits of doing that. It's to be able to save up. For instance, if you want to buy a full ounce of gold, well, you put money in that account, and then as soon as you get enough to get that full ounce, and depending on how the price moves, whether in your favor or not, well, you're much closer if you have, a quarter ounce worth of money in there, and the price goes down, you can put a little bit more to maybe get a half ounce, keep saving and saving and saving. You're literally building up through the course and locking in the weight for the price that you paid as the markets move until you can get that full ounce out. So it's a way to be able to do that, and you can cash out. Now, in the Royal Mint's case, I'm not sure how that works, and I'm not sure how they vault this or what fees are associated with it or what. But nonetheless, it's the fact that it's online, and it's a way to be able to buy gold in increments other than what is offered in the form of physical bullion. So interesting indeed, something worth investigating for sure. As for me, and I would even argue that if you do this, if you're a young person listening to and watching this video, if you do take that route, I would still encourage you to get the physical as well. There's nothing like the physical. Yes, you will pay some premiums. There are ways to be able to save on premiums, and I've discussed that in prior videos, and I probably will do more videos on how to save in buying gold in increments, and what I call smart dollar cost averaging for gold. But nonetheless, that's a topic for a different time. But I do believe in having the physical as well. Silver is easier to buy in the physical form, and when you buy the physical, most people are buying it online, although there are some that have local coin shops where you can purchase as well. And I do believe in supporting small business and your local coin dealers near you, because I think it's a wonderful resource for sure. But a lot of us are buying online as well for the physical. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, but pretty interesting data and news from the Royal Mint as one example of an increase in rise in young adults buying gold online in this manner or in any form. A multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video. I really do hope that you will thumb this video up. It would please me greatly, for sure. And it might even please the algorithm gods on YouTube, which would be great. So a multitude of gratitude to you all. And I want to encourage you again to rate, share, comment, and hit that notification bell and subscribe.